Welcome back to the channel, y'all! Obviously, if you watch me regularly, then you know I was just like kind of going through it these last few weeks, last few months. Things was rough. So, unannounced, I took a short little break from YouTube, very much needed TLC. But your boy is back, so let's just jump right into it. So for those of you who may not have seen the last episode or last, series installment of Medical Madness, I'm gonna do a quick recap. Essentially, I had just started taking Depakote, which is Valproate, something like that, but it's called Depakote. It's the brand name. Extended release is what I'm on. And yeah, this is for bipolar disorder. It's an anticonvulsant, and I had just started taking it. So I didn't really have a lot of knowledge around it. I was basically just doing kind of information about the drug. The video's right here. So if you don't feel like combing through research online, you can just go ahead and click that link. This is 250 milligrams. It's 250 milligrams per pill. If you guys want to know what they look like, mine at least, I mean they could be different I guess, but like mine are these little white, little ovally shaped pillows right there. It's not focusing. It's not gonna focus out. They're white and oval shaped. First started taking it, there's a specific word for it. It's like tertiate. I went up, gradually on the medication, as you should do with most bipolar medications or serious medications or just in general, because otherwise you can really just make yourself sick and fuck your whole body up. So 250 milligrams, obviously that's what I started at. I did that for 7 days, and then after the first 7 days, I went up to taking 2 pills. Which I'm still currently on. So that's 500 milligrams. From my understanding, that's still like a very, very, very low dosage for Depakote, and I can tell it's a low dosage because, simply put, I still feel at times elevated-ish, I guess you could say, but nowhere near where we were in the past. Purpose of just this video and kind of just, restarting our lives together, our relationship. I missed y'all. I've decided to split this video up into, first, I'm just gonna talk about, kind of why I decided to get back on medication. Like, obviously, I've alluded to the fact, if you don't watch this channel, that I was manic. Next, I'm gonna talk about sort of how, going up on the medication was, or just my initial feelings and emotions and what was going on when I first started taking it. How long did it take for me to start feeling it working? There's some caveats in that. And then I'm gonna talk about why I haven't gone up further and like kind of the next steps in terms of like this bipolar medication recovery, I was gonna say trial. It's not a trial, although I'd like to think so. In terms of just recovery in general, I guess, and what's going on. So I guess this is just an extended recap, but so much was going on, y'all. I was manic. I'm not sure if I was manic the entire time, but I doubt it. But essentially, I was isolating through periods of what I believed were hypomanic episodes since last June. So we're almost lapsing on a year. I was dealing with a lot of uncovered issues regarding the trauma and just some of the, complex trauma and developmental stuff I went through as a child. A lot of things that came up involuntarily, a lot of memories uncovered, a lot of feelings uncovered, just a lot of things that all related back down to like anger towards my family, anger towards the situation. I was just an angry person. And I'm still angry, but we're not as angry or like anywhere near there. I basically just was not feeling the whole recovery, the whole doing the right processes. In a nutshell, it basically felt as though I wanted to throw a temper tantrum. It's hard to explain. I assigned all the blame because, I still do, it's their fault. But I assigned all the blame to my parents in terms of, these are the things I'm going through, or like, these are like the mental illnesses that I have. It's all their fault. Like, screw them. Like, screw everybody. So I'm just gonna act wild. And we did. We had an insanely wild 2020. And I wouldn't say it was like, yeah, it was insanely wild. But I'm not going to get into specifics on that. You can DM me on Instagram if you have specific questions, though. I'm always here to talk. Yeah, so originally I would downplay it, and I thought, these are periods of hypomania, not periods of actual mania. Now looking back on it, like not sleeping for 6 or 7 days, quite literally not sleeping. That was primarily over the summer until like my body just couldn't take it anymore. But not sleeping for entire weeks, and then crashing for 48 hours and then doing the whole thing over and over again. Yeah, that's not great for you. Slash, that's what I was doing. I didn't attribute it to being mania because, I didn't know that manic episodes could last that long without things blowing up in your face. And I guess things did blow up in my face in December. In addition to that, a big reason why I got back on medication was cognitive issues, which is one of the biggest things I've wanted to make a video on, and a lot of people have been asking about that. What does that mean? Or, they think that they have it too. Whew. Thinking in general, it wasn't like me doing complex, not that I could do complex tasks, but it was more so just doing like very, very simplistic tasks. Reading emails for work and writing those emails back, and just reading in general. Being able to clean my room, like being able to do things in general was like almost near impossible. It took me forever to get ready. It took me to get ready to leave the house. I kept on forgetting things. I just would get confused and forget, like, what am I doing in the bathroom? Oh yeah, you came in here, duh, to use the bathroom or to shower. Like, life just became so difficult because I literally could not think. Hence why I also stopped making YouTube videos, because like I couldn't, quite literally. It was a lot, and that was probably the single biggest issue that I was having. And mania does cause cognitive issues, but not sleeping for days, not eating for days, and just being manic in general and all the things and behaviors that comes with. So a bender over the course of like 9 months is not great for the brain. Now that I come to think of it, like honestly, this bed right here, I'm doing a lot better with my sleep, a lot better, but I still have not had a single night since moving in this condo. I moved in June of 2020, and I still have not slept in this bed for a single week at a reasonable hour. When I say reasonable hour, I mean getting in the bed at 11 p.m., 10:30 p.m., whatever, and then waking up the next day at 8 a.m. I have not done that for 7 days, since being here. So against my wishes and against what I wanted to do, I was very against taking medication. Not just because I loved the way mania felt. I loved acting out, I guess you could say, kind of throwing that temper tantrum and my rebellion and being angry. I loved that, and I have tons of videos of me being very self-aware of what's happening, explaining how my behavior is literally deteriorating my body, and just not caring about it. It wasn't until the cognition thing started that I was like, okay, this is no longer fun because I can't even do the fun things anymore. So I wanted to get back on medication primarily because of that. Having been on Depakote for about a month now, that shit works. It worked, and honestly, they say it wouldn't start working until about now. They say it takes 3 to 4 weeks for it to really kick in. But y'all, I'm not sure if it's just because I eat very little food, which is what my friend said, and my friend's a nurse, so I'm going to just go with what they said. Number one, I was sleepy, and it wasn't because I took the medication sleepy. When I first started taking it, it did make me drowsy, but that's what the medication's supposed to do. But also, it's a side effect of the medication. It makes you drowsy. But I noticed in the second week, I started getting tired at the normal time period that people get tired at. So around 9 p.m. I would start yawning, and I was just like, what the hell is this? And I was trying to fight it for the longest. I couldn't. I would fall asleep, and it was just such a strange feeling. Clearly I was taking the medication to get better. Clearly I wanted to get better, but I was also still fighting it, and no, I could feel the mania being zapped out of me and sent wherever the hell it goes. And I did not like that, because everything, number one, I felt all of the emotions that I was kind of pushing to the side before. All those emotions came back, or not came back, they were just there for me to deal with now. Life wasn't as fun, life wasn't as exciting. I had gotten myself into a host of different troubles, I guess you could say, or difficulties. On that, there's a whole bunch of them. One of them being like financial trouble, not trouble as in like I'm being evicted or something, but like obviously credit card debt isn't great. All my credit cards were maxed out, but thank God my account was just stimulated by the government. Not that that's really gonna do anything, because like we was swipey swipe. But essentially, I was feeling all of that, and I was like coming to terms with like, wow, that's like wow, you were really just out here wild as hell, and just not giving a fuck at all. Which even now I'm like looking back on it, and I understand that it was bad. I understand that I need to be in a different place, quite literally. Like if I want to survive, like I have to eat food, I have to sleep, I have to do these things. But even looking back on it, like I had an amazing 2020. I would do it again. I have no regrets. And I'm not sure if that's bad. You know, this isn't like an advice. I don't ever give advice on here necessarily. So don't do what I do. But like honestly, I felt like even though it was bad, I needed to blow off that steam. I didn't realize I was so angry for so long about so many different things that had happened in the past in my trauma, and while it was accompanied by the bipolar, and that makes it a whole different thing, I needed what happened last year to happen. Otherwise, I would have just continued on being like very angry, very bottled up. I don't know if that makes sense. But now it's time to repair and work on ourselves, unfortunately. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I also started noticing that I was getting hungrier. So if you didn't see my last video I uploaded, I talked about being diagnosed with anorexia, which is still weird for me to say out loud, especially to the camera. Being diagnosed with that, but you know, it's an interesting relationship being bipolar as well, because mania, like when you're manic, you're not hungry. So a part of me is believing that, you know, I was purposefully sometimes in either inducing mania, not great, or just like enjoying the mania that it was, or that was there, because I knew that I wouldn't be hungry, and I'm not very good at just not eating, because that's like torture. I mean, I'll try to restrict myself as much as possible, but then I just end up binging, and that makes me feel terrible. So yeah, a lot of self-discovery in that area as well. But no, yeah, I'm eating more ever since taking this medication. I don't know if it's in my head. I don't know if it's like, I don't know what it's related to. I just know that I'm feeling myself, like I wake up in the morning hungry, and I mean, obviously I've woken up in the morning hungry before, but it hasn't happened in months. So like this morning I had a breakfast sandwich and I had some French toast, like, and I'm probably gonna have something for lunch because I can feel my stomach getting to that point where it wants some tacos. Saying that out loud makes me feel gross, but like I'm hungry, so like what the fuck. And before I just did not feel that way, and it was like that's what I got used to, and it was a great feeling, but not sustainable, you know? So sleeping more, eating more, my cognition has significantly improved. I'm able to like do a video with y'all and actually talk to the camera, not forget what I'm saying, or not, I mean, I'm always all over the place, but it's a lot better. I'm not forgetting where I'm going and driving. I can read my work emails. I'm back at work finally. I mean, work it's not great because I've been gone for so long, and my cognitive issues I'm realizing now are still not gone 100%. They're still there, like in terms of me just moving slowly on things, but that's also because I'm not taking Adderall, so it could just be naturally my ADHD. It's nowhere near how it was, and like before I thought, I mean, my brain was deteriorating, and it was, yeah, that was happening, but that's what it felt like. So whatever, that's not happening anymore. So cognition's better, eating is better, sleeping is better, everything is better since taking Depakote. And the biggest thing of all, y'all, there's no side effects, at least not yet. Again, I'm on a very it's like knock on wood. I say that because if y'all are like wondering like what the hell is this problem, lithium, the last medication I was on, a big reason why I didn't want to go back on medication is because lithium fucked me up. I mean, it worked, but like my body could not take that, and it was so bad. So I am excited to see where this leads us next. You know, I have to make an appointment with my psychiatrist. I have not done that. I actually probably should have gone up a little bit more on the medicine because, like I said, I'm not in an episode, but there are times where I'll notice some of my behaviors are impulsive, or I'll notice things are not in line. And that's typically after a night out with friends, or like if I'm drinking or something like that, and like not like in a bad way, but you know, just being a normal person I can't be typically. All right, y'all, of course, remember, if you got anything out of this video, if you found it helpful, give it a like. I would love that. Thank you. And if you have any questions for me, if you thought something was confusing, if you're like, fuck this video, it doesn't make any sense, leave a comment. I mean, like, that's super rude, and I think people on the internet, y'all are wild. Y'all just say whatever y'all say, as though, like, I really don't care. But it actually does help me plan out content, because then I'm like, okay, like, I won't say those things, or I won't, like, make that video, or whatever. Regardless, just leave a comment. I love to hear from y'all. And lastly, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel, hit that subscription button, and turn on notifications for new videos each week, or to be notified of new videos each week. That'd be great, if you want to be. I know notifications can be annoying sometimes. Honestly, I'm not uploading like that, so press the button anyway. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Stay golden. Hope y'all are having an amazing entry into spring. Bye.